at 08:35 hours, Martin Bryan was arrested by the Tasmania Police Special Operations Group. This arrest took 11 minutes in a siege situation by one of Australia's highest trained anti-terrorist squads, leaving no chance of any possible hostage to be rescued.
Jamie.
Yes, hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Jamie. Yourself?
Well, I'm well up till now, the past few 20 seconds. What I've actually found out, man, is that one of your boys is right outside, north-east, I'd say, with an infrared scope. Can you just ask him to move on?
All right, we'll do that. We'll do that now.
He's going to shoot, he's trying to shoot, he's going to shoot with me, man.
I can guarantee...
I'll blow these... You know what's going to happen is...
I don't want to see anybody hurt, alright? Okay, I'm organising that now, so I can also assure you that it's not our intention to hurt you or see anybody else hurt, okay?
Really?
This weapon's a 223 caliber Colt self-loading rifle, model AR-15. This was the weapon that was used in the cafe where 20 people died. This particular gun fires a bullet at around about 3,200 feet per second.
Ballistics expert Sergeant Gerald Dutton is now custodian of Martin Bryan's collection.
It's a self-loading shotgun. Operates, which that means every time you pull the trigger there's a shot fired. This was found in the boot of his vehicle with a loaded magazine, holds 10 cartridges.
According to the police evidence, the weapons used at the Port Arthur massacre was a Colt AR-15 and an FN-FAL rifle. However, witnesses state emphatically that a shotgun was also used inside the Broad Arrow Cafe. Martin Bryan owned 3 weapons. He owned a Colt AR-10 rifle, a Colt AR-15 and a Daewoo shotgun. The FN-FAL rifle, which police evidence states caused the death of 8 people, can in no way be connected with Martin Bryan. Of Martin Bryan's weapons, the Colt AR-10 was in the possession of the gun dealer Terry Hill of Hobart. Of the Daewoo shotgun, Martin Bryan stated quite emphatically in his police interview that he had never fired a shotgun because it frightened him. And lastly, the final point to be made is of the murder weapons, even though Martin Bryan did own 3 firearms, there is no proof that those firearms were actually connected with Martin Bryan.
Well, I know a number of people were shot in the arms and legs, and there's some gunshot wounds to the head, and just about any part of the body you wish to name, we found some pellets.
On the 24th of April 1994, the Hobart Supreme Court found that Martin Bryan was incompetent to handle his own affairs. This set the legal precedent that Martin Bryan was held by the Hobart Supreme Court to be incompetent to make any plea. On the 31st of October 1996, the Hobart Supreme Court accepted a guilty plea from Martin Bryan on the authority of Professor Paul E. Mullen. What must be considered here is that any court, once a person has been found incompetent to plead, can only accept a plea of not guilty. In regard to Martin Bryan, there must be a full and proper trial. This has been totally denied to Martin Bryan. What would a full and proper trial have uncovered from the police evidence? In the police interview of Martin Bryan by Inspector Ross Payne and John Warren at Risdon Prison on the 4th of July 1996 and presented to the Hobart Supreme Court on the 20th of November 1996, what must be noted is that the Hobart Supreme Court on the 24th of April 1994 found that Martin Bryan was incompetent to handle his own affairs and placed him under the guardianship of perpetual trustees. In any legal matter, Martin Bryan must be represented by his guardianship perpetual trustees or by his solicitor, at this time Lieutenant Colonel David Gunson. In any police interview, once the interviewee raises the question of legal representation, the interview must stop and the required proper legal representation must be present before the interview can be continued. If this procedure is not adhered to, then the interview becomes inadmissible in any court, as per Justice Lionel Murphy of the High Court of Australia. Now what this means is that once Inspector Ross Payne ignored Martin Bryan's request for his lawyer to be present, the whole interview becomes inadmissible.
David Gunson has represented Bryant since his first appearance in May. In a brief statement to the media today, Mr Gunson confirmed he'll no longer be handling the case, but refused to give reasons for his decision. Though Bryant's trust is refusing to comment, it's believed it's paying for his defence counsel and contacted Mr Avery to replace David Gunson. Mr Avery's second meeting with Bryant tomorrow will decide his future with the case. John Avery met with Bryant at the prison hospital yesterday morning, just hours after Bryant pleaded not guilty to 72 charges relating to the shootings. While Mr Avery says he'll need to go through the case papers before making a final decision, he's more likely than not to appear for Bryant at a brief mention hearing set down for Friday.
Meantime, a bill designed to seize the assets of Martin Bryan has been introduced to State Parliament. Bryant is understood to have assets worth about $1.5 million, including a house and a trust fund. The legislation would allow the Supreme Court to freeze the assets of anyone charged with a serious offence. On conviction, their property would be sold, the money given to victims.
The legislation is designed to protect the rights of victims who have suffered at the hands of an offender or an alleged offender.
Once passed, the legislation will be the first of its kind in Australia.